He was like, well, you can either come surf with me or you can sit on the beach and play in the water. It's up to you.
Aloha, everybody. It's Sawyer-Chu, host of the Christian Surfers Podcast. We just wanted to say a special thanks to Almond Surfboards and Trustless Property Management to thank them for their support and love. Those guys love the Lord. We wouldn't be able to tell the stories of Jesus from all around the world through this ministry without those guys. Almond Surfboards, based in Costa Mesa, California. Since 2007, they've been building timeless boards and just helping families and friends just surf the everyday average waves, but making it fun and remembering the joy of surfing. Beautiful boards from mid-lengths and longboards to fishes and shortboards. Go by, check them out. Really fun merch too, and they do a great job building community. Gary Ward and Bryce and the team over at Trustless Property Management, based in San Clemente, absolute legends as well, who love the Lord. And if you have a property that you want a family-owned business that you can trust to operate it, or looking for a place or home to purchase, I did my place and bought our home through them. Those are great guys to work with. So Trustless Property Management and Almond Surfboards, God bless you guys, and thank you for all your support with Christian Surfers.
Hey guys, and aloha. It's Sawyer-Chu, your host of the Christian Surfers Podcast, Talk Story, where we talk Jesus and talk with surfers that love Jesus. Please tune in to hear some amazing stories of faith and the kingdom, and we'll see you soon.
What's up, Alyssa? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great to see you. Thanks for making time in your busy schedule during the U.S. Open. How long have we been trying to do this podcast with you?
Oh my gosh, I feel like we've been going back and forth for like the last 2 years trying to find a time that works, and right now is the perfect time.
There you go. We made it work. Feels like 20, but it's been 2 years. We're downtown Huntington Beach at the U.S. Open. And Alyssa, we just wanted to say a special thank you to Pastor Nate Dorman and Dave and the crew here at Community Bible Church in downtown Huntington Beach. Super rad church. We got Jesus hanging out right behind us in the stained glass window. And Pastor Nate, long history with Christian Surfers and on staff with us before. We've done a podcast with him. So make sure you guys check that out on Spotify or YouTube, wherever you're streaming your podcasts. But thank you to these guys. If you guys are in downtown Huntington Beach, make sure you come by and check out their church. And so we love it. This place is rad. Alyssa, we were talking a little bit earlier. You've done some surf podcasts before, but this is your first faith-based Jesus podcast, right?
Yes, and I'm really excited to be here, so thank you.
We're so excited to talk to you. It's been so cool to meet your parents at the contest the last couple of years. You've had different interactions with Christian surfers all over the world, and I think it was just in 2022, we interviewed you for American Surf Magazine. You were just on a roll. You won Brazil. You won a couple events on the East Coast on the Challenger Series. And I think we knew you were a believer because you were very open on your social media. You've got a scripture. Is it Corinthians?
1 Corinthians 16:14.
There you go. What is that? What does the verse say, and what does it mean to you?
Yeah, the verse says, let all you do be done in love. And that has just been my favorite verse my whole life, I feel like.
Ever since you were young?
Ever since I was young, and yeah, I feel I just think that love is the root of all good things in life, and love is the root of what the Lord provides for us. So
love conquers all.
Yes, exactly. So I feel it's such a simple but powerful verse that I just love to have in my daily life.
Yeah, so rad. Well, thank you for proclaiming that on the gram and your social media, and not being ashamed of the gospel. And so that was really cool to watch. And then you obviously have a career as a professional surfer where you have to travel all over the world, right? You're probably at home maybe a handful of months or weeks a year, but you're traveling and you're South Africa, and it's been so rad to see you reach out and then also organically connect with Christian surfers and churches when you're abroad. And I know this last trip when you were at Bolito for the Challenger Series, I think you reached out and hey, I want to check out a Bible study, or you've met some of those guys before, right, in J-Bay?
Yeah, a couple years ago, I got connected with some of the Christian Surfers crew when I was doing a trip to J-Bay, and
was that for a contest or?
No, I just gone there for a surf trip. It was like right before the contest in Bolito. So since I was already in South Africa, I was like, I want to make the journey to J-Bay and go there and check it out. And
was that your first time there?
That was my second time to J-Bay. I went the first year with my dad, and then I went back that year by myself. And I knew that I wanted to go back there and really connect with some more people in the community, and just asked, if there's any way that I could serve while I was there, just like give back. And they connected me with the crew at Wave Point, which is
Pastor CJ.
There. And they're an amazing group of people there.
Did you and your dad get to go check out the church?
My dad didn't get to go check out the church that time. This one was the trip that I went by myself, and it was just amazing to connect with them there. And we did a day where we took a bunch of the kids from the church surfing, and they showed me like all around J-Bay and a couple of other different waves, and it was just like such a fun experience. And
did you go into the township at all, or did they kind of?
We didn't ever make it into the township for community or serving in that way, but we did a little drive-by, and they kind of told me the story and just everything about what's going on there, and it was
what life is like
and,
growing up as a local.
Definitely puts things into perspective and just makes you so grateful for everything that you have. And I would love to get the opportunity to go back there one day and maybe do more, but it was really amazing that they just took me in and showed me all around and gave me a great time there. Yeah,
I mean, your family, and I know like Kyle, Casey, Senzo, Waves of Hope, Sylvan from Groundswell Aid, all like the partners of Christian Surfers, they all love you, and it's so great to have like you come into town and like, the kids look up to you and you're like a role model, and you're so open about your faith, which is, not always the case. Sometimes with professional surfers, obviously, a lot of guys and can understandably be worried about their sponsorship and all that. I know CJ and Damien had a lot of that when, they were on tour, and like, oh my gosh, are we gonna like alienate or turn everything off? But you have always, I feel like, worn your heart on your sleeve and been really transparent about your faith, which is great to see. So let's kind of dive into that a little bit. Did you grow up in the church in Encinitas? So were you born and raised there? Is that kind of where it all started?
Yeah, I was actually baptized Catholic when I was younger.
As a baby? Okay.
Yeah, and then growing up, my parents kind of, always would educate us, and we were always growing up knowing God and, in our household. But it was never a thing that was like, you have to go to church, or you have to do this. They kind of like let us find God on our own. Yeah. Which I really am grateful for. And I started going to youth group when I was probably in like middle school, and just met some of my best friends that I still have to this day through that. And I feel like my faith has just like grown over time, and just through like seeing all the ways that God works in my life. And
so cool.
Yeah, so I feel like that's just kind of my story. I don't have some crazy testimony of where God found me or these things. I feel like
everyone's got their own story.
Yeah, and I feel like it just is something that like grew over time, and just God found me in my heart. So yeah.
Was there any point when you were growing up where it was like this revelation where like, oh gosh, this is not just something that I hear from my mom and dad, or like a cultural thing with my family, like this is real, and I'm gonna make that decision for myself? Was there a point like that growing up for you?
I mean, I feel like I've had a lot of like small moments that all have like added up over time, and just there's always these little moments where we really like
little miracles here and there
can see God working in our lives. And I feel like all of those just like little moments adding up over time is kind of what like grew my faith. Yeah.
Because I mean, life is no matter where you are, right, in this world, obviously you kind of see that more apparently sometimes in South Africa, where there is more poverty, or other countries. Obviously, Orange County and North County, kind of like, we're in our little bubbles here in America and California. And thank you for sharing that, and I don't know if you get this question a lot, but what is kind of the hardest thing about being a follower of Jesus and then being a professional surfer at the same time? Because you've got a lot of pressure. The media obviously paints professional surfing as this glamorous job, but seeing you at the contest and working in the industry, like, I know you're losing much more than you win, which is heartbreaking. And
I mean, I feel like just like in this journey that I'm on with professional surfing, there's a lot of roller coasters of the ups and downs, and learning how to like work through those losses and wins and everything like that can be like really difficult sometimes. But I feel like having that faith gives you like the hope that like this is all happening for a reason. Like, God makes no mistakes, and even though it may feel like it sometimes, or you might have doubts or questioning sometimes, it's like just being rooted in that faith definitely gives you hope that it's all going to work out exactly how it's supposed to. So I feel like having that like purpose of like living for something bigger than yourself a lot of times can help you like ground yourself and like come back to the things that are like really important in your life, even when you are going through those tough losses or maybe really challenging times in this career that we have, that it's so hard to win an event, and it's not like we can just show up and win every single event that we show up to. It's like, there's a lot of challenges that come along the way, but I feel like just having that part of my life where I get to be rooted in my faith definitely like helps me along the way. Having that foundation, regardless if you win or lose, but I guess when you're losing, you kind of remember that your identity is beyond your contest results, right? Yes, for sure. I feel like that's, and we all have our challenges with it. It's like you find yourself going through ebbs and flows of like, okay, well, God, pull me back in because I'm getting too like, attached to this like outcome. And, it's something that we're always trying to figure out how to like balance. And I feel like it's just like an ongoing lesson that you're learning. It's almost like a daily challenge, right? Like a daily balance, like waking up and making that like conscious, intentional decision or effort to be like, today I'm not going to be so attached to either chasing money or a result. Like, I'm going to try to, be rooted and grounded first in Jesus and faith, and then whatever happens. But it is hard to kind of keep that like top of mind, I guess, when you're traveling around the world. Yeah, for sure. And I feel like I'm always like every contest, every heat, and just every day with like showing up to like obviously do what I love more than anything in the world, but it is my job as well. So, to perform. Perform and work hard, like consistently. So, it's always like, you're always learning something new every day. I feel like one day you think you have it all figured out, and then you're like, oh, no, I don't. It's so humbling. And God has a great way of doing that with all of us. But it's so cool to kind of see your journey on that process the last couple of years, because qualifying for the tour, was it last year? 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then there's that brutal mid-year cut, right? Yeah. And you got caught in that. And obviously, there's some changes on the tour next year. Are you excited about those? Is that? Yes. Okay. I'm very excited. They're getting rid of the mid-year cut, and, that means that when you qualify, you get to surf
a whole year, which is really nice.
Versus
not to feel that like pressure of like, oh, well, I have to perform very well like in these first 5 events, and like no room for
error,
mistakes, or I feel like a lot of times you're learning a lot when you get there and you're like, these are my first few events, and just trying to find your feet and like figure out how it works. It's like definitely a lot to take in. But I am very excited to have that opportunity for when I get back on tour to surf the full year.
Yeah, because you spend, and I totally understand, innovation and change, and WSL trying a couple of ideas and see if that work. But like from the athlete perspective, right? How much time and money and effort and blood, sweat, and tears you guys put into qualifying, getting into it, and then finally getting there, and then not even having the full year to actually compete.
Yeah, it definitely was challenging having that. And, I mean, there are plenty of rookies that have gone on and made the cut also, but it just definitely is like a really big challenge.
Yeah, because there's probably so much change between the different levels, right? Like the qualifying series to Challenger series to CT. I mean, it's almost completely different once you arrive, right? Like obviously the level is a lot higher.
Yeah, I feel like the level is a lot higher. You're surfing a lot more quality waves on the tour, which just brings out like a whole new level of surfing in everyone.
Yeah.
And then I feel like you're surfing against the best surfers in the world. So it's like everyone is at the top of their game, and there really is no room to make mistakes. And if you make a mistake, someone else is going to capitalize on that. So it's like just trying to figure out how to find that like rhythm and just I guess find your flow with all of that is a challenge.
Yeah, and there's so many things like in surfing that are just out of your control. Like you can control like your health and I guess your diet and your exercise and all that, but unlike I guess other sports like football and baseball or basketball, there's a ton of variables that are completely outside of your control.
No, for sure. I mean, you're dealing with the ocean and it's constantly changing, never the same. Like even in a 30-minute heat, the wave you get at the beginning of the heat and at the end of the heat, no wave is ever going to be the same. So, and you can't control with how much time there's going to be in between sets, what wave comes to you, what wave comes to another person. So I feel like in that part of it, you have to have like a sense of surrender almost to like whatever you have for me is like, I'm just going to have to accept that.
Right.
And work with what comes
where there was just like, I got all the bad waves, or I actually got a good one, or
exactly. And I feel like that's just something that you're always learning, and something that makes it really exciting though too, because with those variables, it's like it could so easily go your way or it could not go your way. It's just that's the exciting part of it too.
Yeah. Is that a big key there for you guys? Is it like accepting the losses is probably one of the hardest things to learn?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like in this last year especially, I've seen myself learn so much in that area from, qualifying for the tour, being at like the highest point of my career to then going through the cut and then back on the Challenger Series for the whole year and then not qualifying again. So I feel like I definitely had a lot of time to learn how to work through those losses a lot more. And it's a really fine balance of like, taking what you can learn to take it to the next event without beating yourself up too much about like what mistakes you made or what happened, and like not carrying that with you to the next event. And I feel like that's something that we're always learning how to process through or work through.
Surfing communities are not all the same around the world. Often, some of the world's best surf breaks are home to the most disadvantaged communities. We believe in the power of the global surfing community to make positive, long-term changes to beach communities around the world. By harnessing the resources of the international surf community, we are able to make a global impact. Using surfing as a platform to connect, Groundswell exists to meet the needs of under-resourced communities and offer tangible hope. Together, Groundswell Aid and our partner projects serve as a way to infuse love and hope within surfing communities.
And yeah, I don't know, I feel like having some time in between events helps too. It's when you have those back-to-back events, it can be really hard to like, okay, we got to dust it off, like dust off that
there's no
last
time to
loss.
reset.
And, not a lot of time to reset. But I feel like something that I've found that has been helping me recently is like trying to just sort of change my mindset around the idea of needing like confidence from one event to take me to get a good result in the next event.
Interesting.
And like, yeah, I don't know, I feel like I've had this idea where I'm like, oh, well, I'm not confident, so like I'm probably not gonna do good. And it's like, well, you don't need confidence. Like, you know, God has given you this amazing ability to like do what you do, and that ability doesn't change depending on like what you placed in the last event.
Right,
and
it's
like,
not linked or dependent.
And it's like, you know, just trusting in like all the work that you've put in and everything that you're doing to get to this point. And it's like, you know that you have the ability to do well and be here, so like let's just focus on that. So I feel like that's what I've been really trying to focus on more, is just like changing that mindset from, you know, not thinking so much about like the last event or the result that happened, and it's like starting fresh and just being like, okay, what can I do today to be the best that I can?
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Alyssa. That is so like raw and transparent, because, you know, even though you're a professional surfer, you're a human being with emotions at the end of the day. And I think that's what I've realized over the years, like becoming friends with like a lot of you guys, and seeing you guys at events and contests, you know, having to be there for work for the media side, but like knowing like the few that I know that are believers and love the Lord is like, you know, it's almost like you're trying to be this robot like in a contest, because you've got to just be very black and white with decisions, but then at the end of the day, you're human and you've got these emotions, and you know, life happens, good and bad things, and you know, you have to process all of it. And even with church, like from a spiritual standpoint, it's like a lot of us humans just carry that baggage, and you just constantly think of like what you've done in the past. And I know that's a barrier for some people to go to church, right? Like, I'm not like good enough yet to go to church and all that. And, you know, I think that's the beauty of Jesus, right? Like, he like washes like your past away. It's, even though as humans, we kind of like do cling on to things and hang up on things, but like to not even think about our past, that we're new creations, like almost daily, right? And to have that choice to follow him daily and be like, you know, it doesn't matter what my past is, I'm going to go to church or get involved, and God accepts us for who we are, because none of us are perfect. And so I love how you share that process, because I can see how it relates to just how people live their lives. Which is super cool. So let's go back to Encinitas. Growing up there, getting baptized Catholic as a baby, but then, you know, growing up and meeting friends that love the Lord. Was your family a surfing family? Is that how you kind of got into it?
Yeah, my whole family surfs. My mom, my dad, my little brother surfs too. So my dad is definitely the one who got all of us into it. And
was he competing at one point?
He competed for fun a lot when we were like babies, and then even before that. And
so cool.
So we would just like, any day that he had off of work or like on the weekends, our family would just always go to the beach, and he was like, well, you can either come surf with me or you can sit on the beach and play in the water. It's up to you. So I feel
and you're like, I'm going surfing with you, Dad.
So, and we lived yeah, like in Encinitas, and we would go down to Cardiff Reef all the time, and it's like
That was your spot growing up?
Yeah,
Okay.
just like the most perfect wave that you could learn to surf on as like a little kid.
Yeah. Is it like metal on the inside where you could just kind of get pushed
there's
in like on the inside reef?
There's like an outside reef, which usually a lot of people longboard anyway, so it's really mellow, and then it kind of reforms into the inside. And there's this little sandbar that creates like this little left, and it's probably like knee high. And
Just perfect for groms.
Just perfect,
Yeah.
and it would just peel.
And your goofy foot.
Peel off, exactly.
So you're like,
that might be why I ended up goofy foot. But yeah, my dad would just push us into like these tiny little peeling waves on the inside, and I just remember that's like where I had the most fun surfing when I was younger.
Yeah. Was there a point where you're like, I want to do this as a career versus like being like a casual surfer for leisure?
Yeah, we started signing me and my brother up for events when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old, and my dad, it was like a push-in division, so my dad would push us in.
So like NSSA or even before that?
WSA, NSSA, and we would go to these contests every weekend, but just for fun, just because we loved surfing, and my dad was like, let's just sign them up for contests and see how they do. And, you know, we just continued to do that till I was probably like 11 or 12 years old. And then I remember there was a pro junior event in Florida that was going to be happening at Cocoa Beach. And
Oh, wow.
some of my parents' friends were like, oh, like you should just sign up Alyssa, like we'll take her with us, and like it'll be
Send her
super
to Florida
fun.
with your family
and,
friends.
like, family friends, and they were like, just sign her up, like we'll see how it goes, like it's just no pressure at all, like just go have fun. And we signed me up for that event, and I ended up winning the pro junior, and I feel like at that time I was like, whoa, like I'm actually kind of good at this. Like, maybe I should like keep going. And I feel like that was like a point where I definitely had that like fire lit inside of me to like want to pursue that as something hopefully to become a career. So yeah, that was kind of like the early stages of competing, and you know, the event that kind of like sparked that dream inside of me.
Yeah, that's interesting because you know, at your level, right, there's so many great surfers, but really the distinction is a lot of time competitive like strategy, right? Like this, being able to pull off things in a 30-minute heat, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone's so talented at this level that we're at, so the like small decision making in those moments in the heats are really what decides who wins, like at the end of the day. So I feel like you're constantly just trying to refine those, you know, decisions and just all of the things that you have your game plan set to before you go out, and also being able to adapt to things in the water because it's constantly changing.
Right. How do you plan for something that's changing? But I guess you're trying to work on some reactive decision making.
Yeah, I mean, we usually go out with a pretty good plan of like how we hope the heat goes, obviously. And usually you want to like start on inside position and get the first wave, and then you're trying to like eliminate opportunity from your competitor and things like that. But the small,
like a chess game.
Yeah, exactly. And then all the small details that happen in the heat, you kind of have to like figure it out on the go and like adapt to all the changes. So it's a interesting like combination of having a plan, but also being able to be like, okay, like I got to be okay with things changing and like figuring it out on the way.
It sounds very stressful, Alyssa.
I don't know. Sometimes it is, but I just think it's so much fun.
Yeah, good for you. God bless. I'll stick behind the computer and watch you do all that. That's incredible. So, you know, Encinitas is so interesting. It's this beautiful little beach town in San Diego in North County. You guys got so many great waves there. Swamis, Cardiff, right? A lot of those secret spots that we won't talk about on the podcast, but Seaside, right? And, you know, you've had a lot of, I think, good male surfers that have come out of Encinitas that have, like Rob Machado, right, was probably the first out of Encinitas on tour. but no one really from the women's side, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, like girls older than me, there hasn't been very many to come out of Encinitas. But in my generation, I feel like there's been a solid little group of girls to come up, and then even the generation below us, all of these girls coming up now, it's like I paddle out to my local break and there's like 15 girls surfing in the water, which is amazing. And
what was it like when you were growing up? Were there any girls?
when I was growing up, there was a couple girls. It was like me and Ella McCaffrey and a few other younger girls.
But a lot smaller
But
back
a lot smaller pack, and usually we were surfing with all of the boys our age, and it was honestly really good for us though, because they would push us really hard, and we would always want to beat them and like see them do a turn. We're like, we're gonna do it better.
Okay. Did you have to do any contests against boys when you were younger?
When I was younger, the push-in division that I did with my dad was like mixed, so boys and girls, and above that I feel like they started having just like only girls divisions. But when I was
there were enough
younger,
girls to kind of
but when I was that young, it was like mixed together. And yeah, it's pretty funny, we have some photos of me like standing on the podium like with all the guys that are doing the Challenger Series nowadays, even like Cade and Crosby and Jet and all of those guys. And it's pretty.
So you grew up with all those guys.
Yeah, we would all compete, like everyone from Encinitas and San Clemente and Huntington, and all of us that were around the same age. It's like, yeah, it was pretty funny to see the photos of like the girls and the guys all standing up there with their trophies, but it was awesome.
We'll have to figure out a way to get those photos for you for the podcast and pop them up on the internet. That is such a fun story. So, and you're saying Encinitas now a lot different. You're seeing a lot of girls in the water. Is your home break still Cardiff or Reef?
I surf Seaside Reef quite a bit, and then I feel like I surf Oceanside Pier the most. So it's funny, I
just
don't really
it's so
live close to there, but I feel
more
like it's
consistent.
the most consistent and just like the best for practicing, and most similar to a lot of the waves that we surf on the Challenger Series. So,
and there's a lot of contests down there versus like Encinitas where crawl is bad.
So I like surfing in Encinitas more like during the winter, and then during the summer I'm usually up at like Lowers or in Oceanside.
Yeah. That's where I feel like I see a lot of the guys and girls come from now is like Oceanside, San Clemente, but like super stoked to see you hold it down for Encinitas. If you could give some advice to like the younger girls now, not necessarily with pro surfing or competition, but just in terms of like, you know, balancing your faith with this world, you know, maybe as a Christian surfer girl, just the things that pressures and things that like you guys deal with as girls that maybe, you know, guys don't necessarily have growing up. What would that be?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like just like the biggest thing for me is to like always come back to my faith. I feel like it's a place where I can just like ground myself, and anytime I'm feeling lost or maybe like I'm getting pulled away, and you know, you go through these different times in life where you get pulled this way and that way, and it's, you know, so easy to get, I don't know, I feel like drifted away from that, I guess, especially nowadays. And there's so many different challenges that come along with a lot of the things that we deal with in the modern world with like social media and everything like that, feeling pressured to like look a certain way or show this certain image, and like I just really believe that like God created each and every one of us to like be exactly who we are. So it's like you shouldn't feel like you have to go do what someone else is doing to be like seen in this world, or like just find whatever it is that like God made you to do and keep going with that, and like you will find so much like fulfillment in that. So I feel like that's been something that I've been learning on my journey and my walk with God, is just like you know, he created each and every one of us for our own purpose in life.
Uniquely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just to remember that and walk with that, and just, you know, God will do amazing things with your life if you just follow that.
Whether you're winning or losing contests.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like there's so much more to life than that, than
Amen.
your career. And, you know, obviously it's so amazing to have these goals and these things that you want to achieve, but there's a whole nother side to life outside of that too, that I think is like so beautiful. And like your purpose in life can be so many different things, and God can have all these different avenues that you can like shine his light in. So I feel like just finding those different moments to be able to shine that light and just live out that purpose that he gave you.
Amen. Yeah. Preach it, sister. Alyssa Spencer. I can't even say it better myself. What could we, on that note, you know, how can we be praying for you and supporting you in the next couple of years? What does it hold for Alyssa Spencer?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really excited to see where these next few years take me. Of course, my big goals in surfing are to qualify for the World Tour again, get back there, and hopefully, you know, stay there for a while. That's definitely my biggest goal. And outside of that, I'm always just trying to, I don't know, keep my mind and heart open to whatever avenues God has to open for me, and just to continue to shine his light in my life and hopefully touch other people with it.
Yeah, I see that definitely in the way you carry yourself, Alyssa. Like you always reach out when you're traveling and try to find if there is like a local orphanage or Christian surfers movement or church. And, you know, even though obviously you're there for work and you're there to compete and do a contest or an event, I feel like you've always tried to be intentional, like with your time when you're there, to like give back to the community, which is really cool. Bianca Bait and Dog used to do a lot of that when she was on tour, and so that's what that reminds me of. So keep praying for this amazing sister in Christ. How can people follow you and in your journey? And
I have my Instagram, which is Alyssa_Spencer1, and I pretty much put up everything that's going on in my life. So if you want to follow along, you can check it out there. But yeah.
There you go. And you got some great brands too. I know you got some great brothers and sisters around you, supporting you, and your parents. Obviously, do they travel with you much for?
They travel with me a little bit here and there. They'll be here this week at the US Open because it's so close to home.
Love to see them.
But yeah.
And you've got Rip Curl, you got Carve, you've got Turtle Box now. We were just talking about them earlier. God bless you guys. We love you guys. And you've got a couple other brands as well. But
Rockstar and Channel Islands.
Awesome. There you go. Pastor Britt Merrick in the Surfer's Bible. So another copy for you, Alyssa, and thank you for repping Jesus and the kingdom of God so well out there in the surfing world that just needs him so much. And make sure you guys give Alyssa a follow, and pray for her as she goes out on tour in the world, slugging it out in the water for the Lord, whether it's small pumping or flat. And thank you so much for making time to connect with us today. Christian Surfers Talk Story Podcast. Missed the intro in the beginning, but where we talk about Jesus and talk to surfers that love Jesus, just like you, Alyssa. Friends and family, brothers and sisters, thanks for tuning in. And Alyssa, God bless you. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much.
So good to see you.
Yeah, you too.